What is up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Today we're working on this, well, now 10-year-old snowmobile, but we're doing the tunnel cut by Mtntk. Let's get right to it. So like I said, today we're putting on the tunnel cut kit from Mtntk Performance. They're out of southern Idaho. This kit is designed to be a simple tunnel cut option, so you don't have any welding or anything like that. Tunnel cutting is like the new fad, I guess. Hopefully it's not just a fad. I guess we'll see after we put this on. This is supposed to be a super simple kit. We're going to take you guys through every process of it. It comes with instructions. It says anybody should be able to do this. Comes with all the parts needed. So like I said, it comes with instructions. You know, the instructions pretty clearly state that anybody should be able to do this. It gives you some information on how much to cut off of the tunnel, how much you want to eliminate of that, and, you know, other options, what everything comes with, you know, stuff like that, what tools you need. Starts with step 1, going straight to the cut. That should be like step 1B, I think, in my opinion. Step 1A is going to be full disassembly. And we have to get this light off and pull this little panel off to get to the wires underneath the light. So I kind of am not a huge fan of that. But we'll go from this step after we get this whole thing disassembled. Got everything taken apart, bumper off. You know, we pulled up the first 2 rivets out of the wire cover. We got the tail light kind of moved forward. Like I said, I wish they kind of told you what to do with this wire cover. But anyway, we're on to step 1B now, and that would be the cut. And yeah, let's get all that marked out. So what it says here, you know, up in the how to calculate area, this is going to add an inch. So if we take 5 inches off, we're really only taking 4 inches off, because once we reassemble, you know, the whole kit and all the components to the kit, it's going to add another inch. So what they recommend, you know, if you cut off 5, then you're going to be at 4, or you can add that inch into it. So if you want 5 off, you actually are going to cut off 6. So we'll come down 7. Because the bumper's still going to stick out a little yet, you know. So we got everything marked out. We are going to end up cutting 7 1/4 inches off of this tunnel. That's going to give us a 6 1/4 inch cutoff, you know, overall. They recommend using a circular saw, so we're going to do everything that they recommend, you know, right in the instructions. We don't have the exact blade that they recommend, but we should be just fine. Oh man, here we go. Coolant. So we got the first cut, little nerve-wracking. They recommend to go 1.5 inches down. I set it at 2 inches because we left our bar on that covers up the wire, so that added a little bit. So we did 2 inches down, and then they recommend to use another saw to go the rest of the way down the tunnel. So we're going to grab an angle grinder with a skinny wheel on it and snip that right off. Perfect.
That was easy.
We got the tunnel cut 7 1/4 inches off. It's pretty drastic looking right now. The next step in the instructions is to go through and deburr all of these. You want to refrain from putting these little plastic plugs in prior. I guess you can contaminate the plastic, you know, if you get anything on there. So you want to be sure to clean all this up really good so those plastic fittings slide right into there when you go to glue it. Now that we have all the burrs and the edges cleaned up, the next step in the instructions is to flush out this system. You don't want all this metal, circulating around through the engine and your coolant system. So we're going to hook the hose that is included in the kit and blow out the system. So all I did here, instead of taking all of this apart, is I used the included 1-inch hose in the kit, and then I came in here and pulled off the return line to the top of the engine and basically flushed it from here. I blew into the 1-inch hose going to our reservoir, and then for the other side, I just had that side pulled off and just poured water right down each of these, flushed it out that way. Works super easy, plus you don't have to take everything off. So we got all the metal flushed out and the front of the machine raised up. We're just gonna let this drip dry for maybe an hour or so, come back to it, start the reassembly. So we got the whole thing flushed and mostly dry. I'm just gonna go through with the heat gun, make sure it's completely clear of water, then we'll clean it out with some rubbing alcohol and some Q-tips. This doesn't want to fit real good. I don't want to hammer on it too much.
It's made out of plastic.
Yeah. I don't like the whole drilling a hole in it thing.
You're drilling a hole in that thing? Big hole in?
It's not a good fit. Put that in and then take it back out, though, is the problem. I don't love the idea there.
They seem like pretty high plastic.
They're 3D printed, you can tell. That's the layers. Yeah. Yeah, I don't love them. Not yet. Hopefully it works.
Come back now.
So we have everything cleaned up, ready to go. Swabbed it all with alcohol. We have it taped off like they've recommended. We've also already pre-fitted and drilled the 3/16 rivet hole like they recommend in the instructions. So our next step is to apply the glue to both the snowmobile and the adapter. We're going to do that side by side, put it in, pop that rivet in, hope for the best. how did I get that in so good? I need a Q-tip, please. Okay, so we want to save all that.
Okay.
That's what's supposed to happen. There's another pair of red handle pliers. They're like dikes,
Okay.
but they're not in that toolbox.
I want them.
This is shitty. Like, look, it's too short. Okay. Something like that. Goes inside it. Looks like that. Okay. That gets cut right there. So got everything kind of cleaned up here, and we're just finishing up mounting the bumper. This is not the stock bumper. This was an aftermarket rear bumper. Seems like it's going to work out fine without hardly any modification. We got a few more holes to drill. We're almost done. Let's see, that was a rivet. That looks a lot better. Cool. Last step is wait for this glue to cure before we fill it back up and put any pressure on it. Other than that, we're pretty much done. Next day, still haven't filled this thing up. We're just gonna let this thing cure, you know, pretty much as long as I can. I'm a little skeptical about that whole system back there, that the fittings that fit in there weren't like a perfect fit, and then the hose wasn't really like a perfect fit. But the cover pieces that you put on to cover everything up, those were really, really good. Just seemed like the other ones, you know, they were really, really close, but it wasn't perfect. And, you know, I made sure there was no burrs or anything on there. So that was that, but we were able to make it work. Hopefully this thing seals up and just works out perfect, you know. Should be no problems. We'll do update videos on this to see what kind of improvements we see in the snow and stuff like that. But all in all, it seems like it's a pretty clean kit. You know, the finish comes out pretty nice. It's just if this thing seals, you know, we cut into the cooling system and compromised the cooling system. So hopefully we sealed it all back up. Hopefully this is also a little bit of a benefit to you guys. Anybody that wants to try this kit out, I would say go for it. Pretty cut and dry, pretty easy to do. And hopefully you enjoyed the video. Thanks for watching, guys.